This is the Fantasy Roadshow.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of the Fantasy Roadshow with your boys here. You can call me Truck, and I'm joined as always by these two beautiful gentlemen. To my left is Shane O'Mac, and to my right is Cole Sports. Boys, we are entering week 12 of the fantasy football season, and we got playoffs right around the corner. We got these are crucial weeks, so that's what we're doing here today. We're here to talk about guys we like, guys we don't like for this week. We're going to get into all that nitty-gritty details, but before we do that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media, and make sure you check out the Substack, thefantasyroadshow.substack.com. Get all of our written articles every week done by yours truly, Shane O'Mac. So, Shane, how you doing today? We getting it in or what?
Doing well. I've got my nice, sexy, cold voice going on today. So
the sweet, soothe sounds of Shane O'Mac.
Yeah. What hat is that? At first, I thought it was Notre Dame.
No, this is
it's a
the old Cowboys logo. Yeah,
vintage
Retro.
Cowboys.
Wait, put it down again. I can't even see the cowboy.
Yeah, Cowboy Joe.
Okay. Okay. So that was your first ever Cowboys hat that you got?
No, this is all retro. This is when I got this at the game when I went to it in 1959. Yeah, came with the ticket.
That's what I was referring to.
First 500 in, got the free hat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
That must be
that's
crazy.
Funny.
So you had like probably 50 years of going to sporting events with printed tickets, and then now you're like having this digital ticket and you're just freaking out.
Yeah, it's all digital. We have tickets. We're going to Jax and I are going to the Chargers game in December. So I got those tickets a couple weeks ago. So
that'll be an awesome game. High scoring, hopefully.
Yeah.
Although something I wanted to talk to you about, I feel like when we haven't had a ton of podcasts where all three of us are together lately, and I just have so much to talk to Shane O'Mac about.
Of course.
The Cowboys, with the addition of Wilson, now have a defense, or were they just playing Geno Smith?
They were, let's not go overboard with it.
I don't know, man. Like the Raiders, like wouldn't even run the ball because
I don't understand why
Clark
they didn't even attempt.
Yeah, like that's been probably the worst. I don't know statistic wise, but probably the worst rush defense. It seems like everyone and their mother put up 120 plus running on at least the RB1 on the team, over 100 like clockwork against the Cowboys. Quinnen Williams is the best rush defender, probably. I mean, at least top 3. So add him, opens up Clark a little bit. So like they were just scared, completely scared.
Yeah, but when you got Geno Smith, I mean, you've got to try to establish some run game. You can't. I think it was like
3 carries in the second half.
Yeah,
late.
It was just.
I think
crazy.
he had 3 carries, like 6 minutes left in the third, and I'm like,
I feel like Pete Carroll and Geno Smith are just in this toxic relationship where he's like, no, he's still a good quarterback. Like for him to bring him over to Vegas and expect it to work out, it's not been good. Not been good. So, but dude, last week was a crazy week. All the injuries that happened, and then just the randomness of the scoring. Like I have a list here. Like Sean Tucker was RB1, Michael Wilson was wide receiver 2, Bryce Young was quarterback 2, Jacoby Brissett quarterback 4, Christian Watson wide receiver 5. Like the list goes on. Xavier Legette wide receiver 9. Like it was just a weird week in the NFL last week, and very. This NFL is very unpredictable. So we give you guys the best info we can, but some of this shit is just gets wild from week to week.
Jacoby Brissett broke the record for completions.
47 completions on 57 attempts.
And Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert held under, I think, 7 fantasy points.
Yeah. What's going on with Lamar? He's not running at all.
No.
I think he's ran like 1 time per game, and like a legitimate run. Obviously, There's some carries in there when he like tries to get around the edge, but like breaking through the rush and getting 15 yards, I think he's done it like 1 time per game.
I think they've just like looked at the schedule and like we can beat all these teams, just Lamar stay back there and just don't re-injure your hamstring.
Maybe it's the re-injury. Maybe they're just trying to save him for the playoffs or whatever the case is. But
but like those games are competitive. So like you'd think at some point your athletic and your competitive nature takes over and like you see 20 yards and you just go get it instead of trusting your average arm and your average receivers.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't know. But it'll be the same with the Jets, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into it. Week 12, red light, green light, all of our picks. We're going to go through the quarterbacks first, and it wouldn't be a red light, green light without us kicking it over to Shane O'Mac. Why don't you give us your first red light quarterback? Who do you not like this week for week 12, gearing up for the playoffs?
Let's kick it over to Shane O'Mac.
Kick it over to the smooth sounds of Shane O'Mac. I am going to go with Daniel Jones. I don't like this setup going to Kansas City on the road. This is a tough Kansas City defense that we just saw them, limit Bo Nix in Denver to, I think he was the QB 19 last week. They've allowed less than 10 passing touchdowns this season, which is, I think, tied for the fewest in the league. I think this is probably an ugly, lower scoring game where you maybe get one touchdown out of Jones, but if it's anything offensively, it's going to be run through Jonathan Taylor.
What are we even talking about here? Truck says that we have an NFL that's just weird, and I just heard Shane O'Mac say that the Bengals defense is tough. So
Did I say the Bengals? The Chiefs? Did I say Bengals? The Chiefs defense.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Yeah. I thought you said Bengals.
I don't think I did I?
I didn't hear him say Bengals.
I heard you say Bengals. That threw me off. That threw me for a loop. I was like, wait, no, I don't think they're playing the Bengals, but if they are, Joe Burrow goes down. And okay. Hand up. I heard Bengals. We can run it back and hear the tape. But Daniel Jones. So I actually just traded him in Dynasty. I want to hear what you guys say about that. Daniel Jones for Dalton Kincaid and a 2027 first rounder.
That's a good deal. I would have taken that as well, depending on the quarterback situation that you have on the roster. But I think that's great.
I'm in sell mode, so it doesn't really matter what I have on the roster. I have Joe Burrow and Penix both on my IR.
Okay. All right. I think that's great value for Daniel Jones. I mean, he seems like he's beginning and blossoming a career with or this next stage of his career with the Colts. Potentially could be long term. So I think you're getting a first rounder plus Kincaid. I think that's good value.
Noted. But yeah, tough matchup with the Chiefs. They're in must-win situations. They got to win. Every week's a playoff game for them right now. So I like that, Shane O'Mac.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that game. I want to see how they compete with the Chiefs. The Colts have just kind of been letting down lately, so not living up to the hype from early on in the season. My red light quarterback of the week is going to be Baker Mayfield, someone that I'm personally struggling with. I've been riding the hot hand with him early on in the season. He was kind of a mainstay in the top 5 for the first 5 or 6 weeks, but recently I've been looking elsewhere. This week he's taking on the Rams in SoFi. It's just a really tough matchup with the way the Rams have been playing. But on top of that, Baker under 17 points in 3 of his last 4 games, including 2 of those games he had under 12 points. So it hasn't been great for him recently. And the Rams actually at home in SoFi, only one quarterback has scored over 10 points. So it's just tough matchup. He hasn't been playing well. Just all those factors equal into a red light sit for me. He's riding my bench in my league personally. So,
yeah, what's crazy about him is I don't remember the stats offhand, but like in the beginning of the year, he was getting you 3-4 points a game, at least with rushing. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he's had any rushing attempts, like basically hardly any over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So you're not even getting those bonus 3 or 4 points.
Yeah, he was taking a lot of damage too in those weeks. He was getting beat up pretty bad. So, but yeah.
I agree. It's not the Baker we've seen. Obviously, Mike Evans is his big possession receiver. That just opens up an offense so much. Egbuka's great, but he's not like that big-bodied 3rd down and 7 throw it to Mike Evans on a slant kind of guy. But there is some decent news about Bucky Irving. He might be back this week now. It would be a good spot to get him back. Bucks are slipping a little bit. To go 6-5 in a primetime game would not be ideal. Total is at 49.5. I just saw. So like Vegas projects to be higher scoring. I think the Rams win that game. Maybe Baker has a touchdown or 2 late in a game that's already won by the Rams, but I could see that as well. It's been the Bucks are just kind of figuring out they need to before this playoff run.
Maybe Sean Tucker has another monster game and the RB1 finish. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. Who do you got for red light?
Bucky's back.
Well, yes, if Bucky's back,
But Bucky's back. Sean Tucker will not see the field, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Coles, what do you got for red light quarterback?
I don't even know like if people are starting him in a redraft league that's not super flex, to be honest, but Trevor Lawrence is someone who like you see the Cardinals matchup and you get excited. I don't know that I would be too excited about that. You saw them it felt like Liam Cohen let him throw early a little bit last week, but then just kind of like saw the run game was working and he just basically handed the ball off to ETN and Tootin the rest of the game. So I almost like wonder if Liam Cohen trusts Lawrence's arm. I think something's off between them. So as the Jaguars are looking to kind of claw out wins like this on the road against a bad team, I could see them just rely on the run. And because of that, fantasy wise, Trevor Lawrence just is not someone you can trust. Probably not starting him unless it's super flex anyways, but he's someone I would pump the brakes on.
Yeah, I can see that. ETN's been playing good ball lately too, so I think he's
Tootin.
Tootin, yeah.
I think before Tootin's ankle injury, he outsnapped ETN like 18-12 or out-touched him. I don't know if it's snap or touches. It's probably snaps. But anyways, Tootin was having some success. So like they see that RB1, RB1A, RB1B dynamic going on. I could see them just kind of relying on the run and not trusting a wide receiver one on the team, trying to get Jacoby Myers up to speed in the offense. So anyways.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have any others you wanted to mention before we jump over to green light?
No, let's jump.
Okay, cool. Shane O'Mac, kick it off. Give us a green light quarterback for week 12. Who do you like this week?
I've got him inside the top 10, and that's Jacoby Brissett. Like, I feel like this is somebody you start playing over guys. Like, I would start Jacoby Brissett this week over Dak Prescott. He's been a top 10 fantasy quarterback 5 out of his last 6 weeks. He's thrown like all crazy. 5 of his starts. He's thrown at least 2 touchdowns in every start. And I think he's averaging over 300 yards. Things aren't getting better for Arizona, like being able to rush the ball. Like DeMarcato's out, so it's just going to be Zonovan Knight as their only option. Trey Benson's not going to be back this week, I don't think. So it's another. I don't even care that Marvin Harrison's not back this week from his appendicitis. When you're throwing 40-plus times, you're going to get some fantasy success.
So what receiving options are eating without Harrison besides McBride, obviously?
Michael Wilson.
Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch.
Dortch.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah, Greg. slot phenomenon, Greg Dortch.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I love it.
That's crazy. I didn't realize. I'm just not like as tuned into fantasy as you guys are in terms of knowing that statistic. 5 out of 6 weeks, him being in the what'd you say top
10, finishing as a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know those kind of stats. If I don't own a player in my portfolio, they don't exist to me. So I just don't even. That's crazy to hear.
That is, yeah, that's wild. I didn't even realize it was to that extent. I know he's been playing well and he's been chucking the ball and he's been getting some good production, but that's an interesting tidbit there. I love the pick, Shane. I do. I think that's a great pick. I'm gonna go back to the matchup I was talking about. Same matchup, other side of the ball. I'm green lighting Matthew Stafford playing the Bucks at home. Look, Stafford's coming off of one of his worst games of the season, scoring just 13 fantasy points against the Seahawks. Prior to that, he was still playing really good ball. I think the last 3 games prior to that, he was getting 26 plus points, fantasy points in those games. So I like him in this matchup. The Buccaneers, since week 8, they're averaging over 22 fantasy points to quarterbacks. It's a good matchup, and I like the Rams to win that game. So, like Cole said, a high over under, I think 49 points, you said. Vegas expected to be a high scoring game. So I think Stafford is going to be the main beneficiary to that.
Yeah, I think he's already a must start. He's just having an MVP type season with elite receiving options. Looks like Petey's.
Got a Packer fan want to say hi.
Hi guys.
There we go.
Go Pack, go.
Yeah, he hasn't been happy ever since the Bears are in first place in the division. Bear down.
With the same Packer fan as before.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry to interrupt.
All good. Fuck the Packers. My green light, I'll just hop into mine. I have Darnold in a bounce back spot. Did I just steal yours, Shane Mack?
No, I like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think this is one of those situations where Darnold threw 1 million picks last week. I think it's going to be 1 million touchdowns this week against a dead Titans team. The Seahawks are a good football team. They're one of those guys, one of those teams that's just going to respond extremely well, almost like how the Lions do. So throw Goff on my green lights as well, but kind of the same situation. Offenses stalled last week. They're going to come out. They're just coached in a very similar style. So I think that Seahawks bounce back big. Darnold throws for 4 or 5 touchdowns and has a massive fantasy week.
Yeah, I think it's going to be just like that Washington game, right? I think they'll get him right in the first half. He puts up 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
100%.
Speaking of Goff, did you guys see his next, I want to say 6 games? Thumbs up. His next 6 games are all in a dome.
Yeah.
He's got like 3 of them at home, and then he's got one in Minnesota, and then the other one at SoFi. Look, if you're struggling at quarterback and Goff's sitting there, you might be able to pick him up and ride the hot hand for the next couple of weeks because this seems like the time of year where the Lions are going to kick it into gear and Goff.
I agree, but also let's keep in mind that Dan Campbell is the NFL version of Coach Joe, and he does not have any business calling plays. And I think we're seeing that in their offense. It's a little different this year. Don't have Laporta. Dan Campbell, when he looks at the play sheet on the sidelines, I'm just like, goes through my head is like, this guy doesn't even look like he can read. Just stick to motivating the team. Let someone else run the offense. Stick to your strengths, and I think the Lions are very gettable this year because of that.
That's fair. Hilarious and fair. All right, let's move over to running backs. We're going to start with red light running backs. Shane O'Mac, kick us off. What do you got for red light running back for week 12?
I am benching Ashton Genty, and it's for some teams that's going to be tough given his draft capital. But I mean, we talked about it earlier. Against the Dallas defense, what it ended up being. But he's been under 10 fantasy points in 2 out of his last 4 games. And this Browns defense, no matter if it's on the road or at home, I mean, they play tough. They're, I think, top 5 in fewest fantasy points allowed. That line is really nasty, and they're not giving him enough opportunities and the right opportunities. He saved himself a little bit with some catches the last couple of games, but I have a hard time seeing him go over 50 yards in this game.
Look, I mean, after you have a game where you have 7 carries for 8 yards, or what? I forgot what the exact stat was. That's very concerning. That offensive line is absolutely dog shit. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the offensive line, I was just hopped on DraftKings Sportsbook to see if they had any defensive props up yet, because I wanted to see what the over-under for Myles Garrett sacks would be this week.
Something
to
look at.
5 last week?
Yeah.
It's got to be 2.5. I was going to say 2.5.
I was going to say 2.5. Yeah. That's what I was going to guess.
I don't know that like I don't keep an eye on defensive props at all, so I don't know what's typical. But like if I had to just throw shit at a wall, I'd say 2.5 as well, which I don't know if that's ever been anyone's total. But yeah, I mean they're a mess. I love Brock Bowers. He was someone I was targeting this year, like second, third round. If Jonathan Taylor wasn't there, it was Brock Bowers, and I'm definitely worried about him. Like he should have these 12, 13 target games, but I don't know if Geno can get him the ball and if this offense is going to do anything the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Tough because of where you drafted him. And we got 4 teams? Excuse me. 4 teams on a bye this week, right? I'm going to be sitting a guy that I'm not sure who's still starting him, but we don't ever talk about him. Alvin Kamara versus the Falcons. I mean, this guy is just seems like he's dead in the fantasy world. I think the cliff has come and he has fallen off. Look, the Falcons defense is good, but Alvin Kamara has failed to score more than 9 points in 4 of his last 6 games. Like, you just can't trust him. The Falcons have given up some big games to, players like Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane. Alvin Kamara is no longer that player. So if you're still considering putting him in the flex, don't. And hopefully you got better options.
Yeah, but there'll be people that are going to put him in there because he's coming off the 115-yard game, his best game of the year. So, yeah. There'll be people still trying to start him.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
I got a red light for you, Shane O'Mac. I'm going to take Saquon Barkley.
Oh, you're going to buy into the new Dallas Doomsday front.
I am. I'm going to say Quinnen Williams is that much of a difference maker. I'm going to say he makes Ken Clark that much better on the run. And I'm going to say that overshown back matters. And the Cowboys could sneaky pull off a win here. I think the Eagles are a team that are just not right. You haven't seen Saquon. You haven't seen anyone produce the way that they typically are. I think Lane Johnson's out 4 to 6 weeks now. Yeah, that matters a lot. So everything's just a little off there. Cowboys coming off one of their better games. I don't know. I'm interested to see how this plays out because you red lighted Dak, or you just said that you'd start Jacoby over him.
I would start Jacoby over Dak.
Yeah, but I think like you're not going to see Dak throw for 400 on the Eagles. I think it could be a lower scoring game that the Cowboys just kind of figure out a way to win. So I'm worried about Saquon in this matchup specifically with the Cowboys' new run defense. It's going to be a game that you're going to tell. Like, are the Cowboys going to sit down and fold, or are they going to legitimately try to compete in this division and try to make the playoffs? So I'm excited to watch that game. There's not a lot of good games on the schedule, but that one I'll be watching pretty closely.
So this is interesting. Before the Lane Johnson injury, 3 out of his last 4 games, Saquon Barkley has averaged 2.4 yards per carry, 2.7, and 3.2. So struggle.
Yeah, so it's not getting any better, and I think you got a Cowboys defense playing at home. There's going to be some love for Keeneland there. I just think they're going to be inspired and try to take down the top dog in the division.
Yep.
I want to see him win. I want to see the Cowboys win that game. That's what I want to see.
I could see the inspiration growing in Truck's face as I was talking about that.
I like it. Although that worries me with the Bears going into Philly. I don't want them coming off a loss.
Bounce back spot and lose by 30.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good for the Bears. Anyway, let's bounce over to green light running backs. And Shane, kick us off. Who you got for green light running backs for week 12?
There is somebody that people have not been wanting to start in the last couple of weeks, and I think this is like the breakout game for him. This is remember my DJ Moore call breakout game like 3 weeks ago. Well, this is the breakout week game for Kenneth Walker.
I love it.
We have heard all of the coaching staff, the head coach, everything has talked about wanting to get him more touches, wanting to get him more rush attempts this week. He now gets the Titans, who are bottom 10 in fantasy points allowed. We just saw Walker get his highest rush attempt in the last 3 weeks this past week. So I think this is his breakout game.
You're right over there, Shane? Okay.
I'm good.
Oof,
Okay.
that's just a
I could
pound of
tell
phlegm.
Yeah, Shane, he's on my list as well. I think he's a great sneaky play this week. So I like Kenneth Walker to have a big game against the Titans. My green light running back for week 12 is someone that had a monster game. He's broken out already, and I'm sure a lot of people with their roster construction, myself included, I'm putting myself in this position because I'm dealing with this currently for this week. TreVeyon Henderson is just coming off the game with 3 touchdowns, just a massive, massive performance, taking on the Bengals. I know, Coles, you heard Shane say the Bengals defense was
I want to run that back because I still think he said that.
We'll play the tape,
We'll
but
check it.
either way, TreVeyon Henderson is a smash play. Like, I'm in my league, I'm currently trying to figure out who to sit to plug him in the lineup, because I have a stacked team in this league, and there's someone I got to sit, and it's really tough to humble brag. Yeah. It's tough. I want to play him. I consider TreVeyon like almost a borderline top 5 play this week for running backs. Like, I think
Dowdle? Are you starting Henderson or Dowdle?
So
I'm starting Henderson. I'm going to start Henderson over Dowdle.
That's my dilemma right now, and I'm a little concerned though with the return of Stevenson.
Yeah.
And what Vrabel will do. At the least, does he give him the goal line opportunities?
Stevenson's going to have a role. And
Yes.
I think it's going to be a one that's a lot bigger than Henderson owners want to see. Now, does that affect him more than just this game? Not if like Stevenson doesn't come back and produce and Henderson continues to have big time runs. But I would be concerned if I was a Henderson owner of that. As someone who is not a Henderson owner, but just kind of like looking at it from the outside, I know Henderson owners drafted him very high. They're very excited about what they've seen, so they're extremely hopeful and optimistic. But coach speak has shown that Ramondre is going to step back into his role, and I would be a little concerned, at least right away.
Yeah, I can understand the hesitation with Ramondre. I just think with TreVeyon, he's just a home run waiting to happen. Like, any given play, there can break a 60-yard touchdown. So I'm still starting with confidence personally, but I'm prepared to be let down there.
Start him, but I think I go Dowdle over Henderson this week because of the volume, the guaranteed volume with Dowdle. He's going against the defense. It's not great. The Niners have struggled defensively, but Patriots matchup's great too. So I think Ramondre is going to come back and like know that he has to produce against a bad defense. He probably does. So then maybe next week you still see Ramondre in a pretty good role, and then maybe the following week, come playoff time for fantasy, is when you see Henderson kind of take over the backfield. But who knows? That's what coach speak is alluding to, at least with Vrabel, I think.
Yeah. That's fair. All right, well, Culls, what do you got for green light running back?
This might surprise some people because the matchup is not great, and it's in that same game. But I think I'm green lighting Chase Brown. You have Jamar Chase out on suspension. you have a Patriots defense that gives up a lot of receiving yards or catches that I think will lead to yards for Chase Brown. So I'm not starting. This is funny because I'm greenlighting Chase Brown, but I'm not starting him for his rushing production. I'm starting him because I think he'll have 5-6 catches for 50, 60 yards and hopefully a touchdown in there. But that 5-6 receptions is going to give you a very comfortable pillow as in a PPR league.
Was it 2 weeks ago? He had like 13 targets.
So last 2 weeks he's had 14 catches. So he's been much more involved.
So I said 5-6. Let's make that 7-8. Let's get aggressive with it. But no, seriously, without so he had 14 targets against the Bears.
Yeah.
Again, the Bears are one of the worst teams in the NFL. And
all right, take it
targets
easy.
Against
take it easy. All right.
8 and 6 catches. So I think it'll have again 7-8 catches this week. That's in a PPR league, even half PPR. You got a high ceiling there.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he gets in the end zone. Patriots are due for a stinker. Not that they're going to lose this game, but I think Flacco can keep it competitive. And we'll see. I like Chase Brown this week.
Okay. All right. I don't hate it. I think you're absolutely right with the PPR upside there. It's going to give you a high floor. So, yeah, I think it's a good call. I like it. All right, let's jump over to wide receivers. Shane O'Mac, red light wide receiver for week 12. Give me something good.
All right, this is going to go against consensus, against probably most people out there, what they're going to tell you, but I would actually bench T. Higgins this week in this matchup. Conventional wisdom is going to tell everybody must start with Chase out, but I think that's a bad thing for Higgins. I think you're either going to see Christian Gonzalez shadow coverage, or you'll just see the Patriots roll double coverage his way and know that is the only threat to beat them. I just don't like the setup without Chase. And like I said, there's not going to be a lot of folks that are going to be on this train, but I think this is a letdown game for Higgins.
I mean, that is definitely against consensus or against what the average person will be thinking. So hot off the press right there with Shane O'Mac, T. Higgins, red light. Wow.
I agree with that from the Christian Gonzalez shadow. I as I mentioned, like potential Patriots stinker. I think if the game opens up a little bit, I would still start Higgins just in case, like if the game does open up, he could have a big game, but I would lean towards Yoshi Voss and Chase Brown as being like the guys in this offense that I would bet on producing better because of what you mentioned, Shane O'Mac.
Yeah,
12 truck. He's ranked as wide receiver 12 according to Fantasy Pros PPR rankings.
Okay, all right. That's yeah. I mean, that's kind of where I thought he would be at for the rankings this week. So, for my red light wide receiver this week, I had kind of trouble really, laying one down that I felt very confident in. There's a few guys that I'm very worried about, but none of them are very, highly ranked players. A guy that we just haven't really talked about in many red light, green light episodes, Xavier Worthy versus the Colts. Xavier Worthy has fallen under the radar, I feel like, for me for the season, partly because I don't have him on any team, but just, even gambling as I'm going through the gambling weeks, he's just not really on my radar. His fantasy stats have kind of taken a tumble. Failed to produce more than 10 fantasy points in a game since Rashee Rice has returned. So he's just kind of fallen to the wayside. Difficult game against the Colts. I would be very worried if I had him in my flex this week.
Yeah, it's Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, and not a lot left over.
A big bag of random players for the Chiefs.
I'll be interested to see that game. Like I could see it. I don't know. Like I could see it being low scoring, and the Colts the only way they're getting they're seeing success on the offensive side is through Taylor. So there's just long drawn out drives, and it kind of ends up being a dud under game. I could also see it being a fucking shootout. So I just it's really hard for me to put a pulse on that game because both offenses could put up points, or they can play the possession game, and you just see a game where you see a lot of those 6-7 minute drives, so I don't know. I don't have much to add there, but Worthy has not been a home run option. I would imagine there's a big game coming from him at some point, just because like the Chiefs are a team that as they're working through trying to get the offense to where it needs to be for the playoffs, they're going to need him to have at least be an option for home runs to open up the offense. So something's coming for him. And if that game ends up being a shootout, then it could be this week. But it's hard to say. It's just so hard to say how this game will play out. It's going to be a great one to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. What do you got? Calls for red light wide receiver week 12?
I don't have one.
Okay. See what I mean? It was a little tough for me going through it. I was like trying to dig deep like Shane O'Mac does on a weekly basis.
I could get one if I look a little deeper, but off the top of my head, I don't know.
I on a shorthand
Jordan
list.
Addison.
Yeah, Jordan
Anyone
Addison is someone I was going
to. Yeah. I'd be a little weary of DK Metcalf if it's Mason Rudolph stepping in.
See, I mean, if it is Mason Rudolph,
I was considering putting him as a green light because they have to throw him the ball. Like
I know, that's where I was battling with because he was someone I was kind of going back and forth with. I'm like, I did red light him the other week, and he hasn't played good recently. So it's like, how can you green light him
the ball?
I know, but this is a good matchup. Like the Bears defense is bad, and this could easily be a game where DK Metcalf goes off.
I think if it's Rodgers, Rodgers sits down Arthur Smith, and he's like, I'm throwing it to my alpha receiver. Like, how much longer are we going to let Arthur Smith get away with this, where he just doesn't throw the ball to Metcalf? He hasn't thrown any slants to Metcalf, which he's just feasted on his entire career. It's crazy. But
I love the time of year where we just, on a weekly basis, just dog Arthur Smith because of how terrible he is.
I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to.
Please, once the Steelers fire him, please nobody hire this guy. Like he does not deserve a job in the NFL. So
I'll give you a green light though. I'm gonna go Chris Olave. I hate the Saints. I hate Shuck. I hate the Saints offense, but Olave against a Falcons team that is just without Penix, without London, not in the playoff race. Kirk Cousins on the other side, probably throwing the ball at the ground a lot and having this clock not run to give the Saints the ball for a good portion of this game. But that secondary is a mess as well. I just mentioned everything and didn't bring up the secondary. Well, it's an absolute mess as well. And I can see Olave having a big game. Saints don't have many wins this season. Falcons are a team that they've had some success against in the past, and familiar opponent at home, Who Dat Nation, could potentially have their one good game of the season.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Shane O'Mac, what do you got for green light wide receiver?
Well, I'm going the inverse of Dan Campbell taking over play calling is a good thing for Jameson Williams.
Yes.
I think also Sam Laporta going on IR has helped, but
definitely
even with Campbell taking over, like we saw Williams get a spike in targets. I think he was at 7 or 8 targets, but he's been wide receiver 8 and wide receiver 2 over the last 2 weeks. He's scored in 3 straight games. He's inside on the fast turf against the Giants. I think this is something he's going to have a spike week where he puts up a long score, and you're probably looking at 15 to 20 PPR points.
Yeah, he was on my list as well. A lot of the factors just kind of combine indicate that he's a good start this week.
Yeah.
I remember when we were talking at the beginning of the year, Shane O'Mac was saying how Jamison Williams is someone that's going to have a wide range of some people love him, some people hate him. And I think you can say that for how his season has gone. Like at the beginning of the year, people are like, fuck, I just missed on that bet. And now you're sitting here and you're like, give Jamison Williams 7-8 targets a game. He's a big play waiting to happen as well.
Absolutely.
So if he gets in the end zone, it means on a big play, and that means a big fantasy week. So you mentioned all those dome games. He's a dome player. Green Bay at home. Oh, my gosh. I'm just looking at the schedule right now, and you got Giants, Green Bay at home, Dallas at home.
Mm-hmm.
Let's green light Jamison Williams for the next 3 weeks.
Yep.
I like it. I would do the same. Yeah. All right. My green light wide receiver is someone who's considered one of the better wide receivers in the league, but has just been going through. It seems like every year this happens with AJ Brown. He came out and said that if you roster him in fantasy, drop him. And then he goes out the next game, gets 11 targets, 7 catches. Coles called it. They were going to pepper him in the last game, and they did. It was great to see, and I think this is I think it's going to be a great game against the Cowboys. I think AJ Brown's really in line. No defenses in the league has allowed more points to perimeter receivers than the Cowboys. So I think Brown's in a good spot to produce in a game that they're going to need him to. So I think they're going to need to throw the ball, and AJ Brown's going to be the main beneficiary of that.
Yeah. Last year in Dallas, he went for 7 for 109. So I can see a similar type game. Same quarterbacks he's facing.
I think he's due for a touchdown too. How long has it been? Since week 7?
Minnesota game.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's due.
I was gonna green light him as well. I red lit Saquon and was gonna inversely green light AJ Brown. I like that a lot. Honorable mention, another guy like Khalil Shakir. I think someone's gonna have to produce in that offense, and I just think him from the slot could be that guy. Kincaid just got announced out. Stingley's going to cover up Keon or Shavers or whoever's on the outside. Josh Allen's too good to not have. No one's going to contain Josh Allen, like not even the outstanding Texans defense. The one thing you have to worry about is just a weird Thursday night game where they're going to just do just enough to win and get out of town, not try to get anyone injured. But I think Shakir's the guy that benefits from that. Just not going to try to overrun James Cook. Let's move the ball down the field and get points, and then just kind of let the clock run on some drawn out drives. And I think you're going to see Shakir as that sure-handed target that just kind of moves the chains. Over Khalil Shakir receptions for you, Truck.
Thank you. I will make note of that. Little Shaker, as the show likes to call him. I still love that nickname that we gave him a long time ago. But yeah, I love it. Someone's got to produce, and Keon had a good week last week. But yeah, you're probably right. He got shut down by Stingley. Keon
was sat because he missed a team practice.
Oh, was that the week? That was the week prior. Shavers
had a good week.
Yeah,
but Keon the week before he had a good week, right? He had scored a touchdoall. I'm pretty sure he had a solid fantasy day.
Yeah, I think so.
Recently.
I think he had a touchdown. Yeah, he had it was decent. He had 3 catches, 46 yards, and a touchdown.
Oh, well, okay.
He
not as good as I remember.
He had 12. He had one good week this year, and that was when he had 112 and a touchdown in week 1. We all thought he was wide receiver 1 about to break out, and then
we personally have kept him on our roster since then. He's still sitting there on the bench.
That's what else are you gonna do?
Yeah. Anyway, all right, that's funny. Let's move over to tight ends. Cole's favorite fantasy position group is tight ends. So why don't you go ahead and kick us off, Coles? Who is your red light tight end for week 12?
You know I don't red light tight ends. I only
You don't-
green light like 6 or
Oh,
7.
okay. All right, that's fair. Shane O'Mac, then give me your red light tight end for week 12.
You got to get away. Don't start if you still. I don't even roster T.J. Hawkinson anymore. Like
I was gonna say that exact thing.
and I say that because
Vikings suck.
I
Vikings suck.
I see him rostered in so many of my leagues still, and like just drop the guy. He got 6 targets, but with JJ McCarthy back there, it's just you can't count on him.
No, not at all. Not at all. I completely agree with you there. He's on my list for red light tight ends. Also, Luke Musgrave. Look, I know a lot of people picked up Luke Musgrave thinking he was going to step in for Tucker Kraft, and that is not the case. I just recently dropped him because I was one of those people. I'm like, hey, maybe there was a point in time where I thought Luke Musgrave was going to be the tight end you want to own in Green Bay. And then Tucker Kraft came up and proved me wrong. But, Luke Musgrave is just not worth it for me. Yeah. So I'd be sending him as well. Coles, I know you're anxious over there to get off your green light tight ends. Go ahead and give us your hot takes over there.
Not super hot, but I like Hunter Henry. I think he has an outstanding week. Love that matchup. Kyle Pitts. Historically, maybe not the best option with Cousins, but without London, he's going to kind of be that big body receiver. I love Pitts. I think Cade Otton is someone who's going to continue to get targets. That's going to be a high-scoring game. Baker's going to have to be throwing. We saw earlier this year when Baker was throwing from behind and Cade Otton caught I don't know, what was it, Shane? 12 balls, something ridiculous.
Something like that, yeah.
And then another one, Juwan Johnson. I know I greenlit Olave, but I think Johnson will eat too. He kind of they throw him out wide, almost like he's a receiver at times. I think I like the pass catching options between him and Olave against the Falcons, and then I'll go AJ Barner, who just saw 14 targets. Let's do it again in a game where I think Darnold has 5 touchdowns. I'll start Barner.
I like it. Digging deep with Barner. I like it. Shane O'Mac, is there anybody that you like this week that Coles did not just reference?
No. In fact, Coles just went with my
Shane O'Mac, shocker of the week.
So I guess
Boom shakalaka! Boom shakalaka! Boom shakalaka!
So yeah, AJ Barner. I agree. Like anytime I see any tight end on the waiver wire get that amount of targets the week before, I'm dropping my guy and I'm picking him up. And like you said, in a game where I think Darnold gets right with 4 TDs, I think he could easily get one of those. Like that's a guy you pick up immediately and start if you're streaming the position.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I have a guy on my list that you didn't mention, and I know I greenlit AJ Brown, but Dallas Goedert. I like Dallas Goedert. I know he hasn't played particularly well the last couple games, a couple stinkers in a row, but last time they played Dallas, 7 catches, 44 yards. It's not incredible, but it's the catch total that I'm looking at. I think against this Dallas defense, Jalen Hurts is going to try to air it out. And to me, I think he really has a good connection with Dallas Goedert, especially in the middle of the field. So I think we could see at least another 6-7 catch game for him, which could bode well for your fantasy lineup if you're in trouble. Love it.
I'm going to also, just to leave Truck in good spirits and good vibes and a happy Truck.
Give it to me.
I'm going to red light all 3 Steelers tight ends. And I'm going to green light Colston Loveland.
Okay. All right. I love it. Yeah, Loveland's been looking good. I'm just, with Kmet coming back, and he's been back now, but, I'd like to see Loveland get some more snaps. I haven't looked at it, the snap percentage.
I don't care. I think this is a game where BJ's going to show you everything he has. This is like a pseudo playoff game. If the Bears want to make the playoffs, they have to win this game. Obviously, the divisional games will matter, but regardless, I think the Bears are a wild card team. Steelers are going to be fighting for their lives to hang on to the division. If not, try to squeak in as a wild card team as well. So I see this as like a sneaky winner gets in the playoffs, or at least positions themselves really well.
Yeah, I think this kind of starts the not to talk about the Bears every episode, but this kind of starts their tough schedule, the back half of their schedule. So Colson Loveland still played 75% of snaps. A lot higher
Yeah,
than I
he's
thought it was
just
gonna be.
he's the guy that's going to get the creative play call that breaks off the 40-yard touchdown. So I think you're going to see some of that. BJ's he's going to open up everything that
BJ.
everything that Caleb loves BJ, giving BJ.
Okay.
So
All right.
I think everything that he can handle, I think you're going to see the load that the load that Caleb can handle. He will get this weekend.
All right, moving on. Anytime I hear BJ referred to as a name now, I can't help but to think Shane O'Mac, Righteous Gemstones. That character in Righteous Gemstones, still one of the funniest characters I've seen in years. So funny. But Coles, I hear what you're saying. Okay, I get
Let's
what you're
end
doing,
on some
and I hear what you're
TV talk.
saying.
Shane O'Mac, have you watched Welcome to Derry?
I have not. I have that. No. So I need to cue that
You
one
gotta-
up.
You
Do
gotta
you
check it
like
out.
like scary, like thrillers? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is out. I mean, it's just wild. Every episode has been a wild ride.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think it's really good. I like the direction they're going, especially the last episode where they're hitting the back in the day and the the history of it all. Yeah,
I think every episode you left. If we would have talked to you after every episode, you would have had that same comment. Like, I really like it's outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Did any other shows you guys want to talk about before we wrap this up? Cool. Shane, what are you watching? What are you doing now? What are you watching?
So we are finishing up Smoke on Apple. We are finishing up, which is good. We are finishing up. Let's see. I finished up on my own the Hulu football. What's the show?
Chad Powers.
Chad
Powers. Great. Yeah.
Chad Powers. That was
good. Jax and I are anxiously awaiting next week on Thanksgiving the debut of Stranger Things returning. So.
Oh, okay. Jack's a big Stranger
When is
Things
that?
fan,
Next
huh?
week?
Yeah, next week on Thanksgiving.
Love that.
So I reluctantly watched it, thinking I don't want to watch this as a kid show, but it's surprisingly good.
It's watchable. It's the last season got really out there with the guy that they're.
Yeah,
I don't want to get too much into it, but it kind of.
Is she going to be how old she is in real life now? Because
no, she's still younger. No, because in real life she's like a grown woman now.
Yeah.
Like
she's kids.
Yes.
She does. She has kids.
Yeah.
Adopted, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Adopted. All right. That's fair. But yeah, that show is getting pretty wild. This is the last season, right? This is the finale.
Yes, this is it.
Yeah. That makes sense. I am currently watching all the Taylor Sheridan TV shows from Paramount Plus. I'm getting into a lot of Taylor Sheridan. He's the creator, the writer that did Lioness, the Mayor of Kingstown, Yellowstone, all of those shows. They're really good. Tulsa King, yeah, I love Tulsa King. They introduced Samuel L. Jackson in that show now.
Is he Landman? Because that just came out.
Yes, he does Landman too. Yeah, Landman just came out with a new season. So I'm kind of just really, I didn't know who Taylor Sheridan was, and I'm like,
shocking.
I'm like, dude, this guy is legit.
Yeah, he signed a mega deal
with NBC, right? Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but
yeah, he's leaving Paramount.
He's a mega star, yeah.
Yeah, I think he signed a massive multi-billion-dollar deal with NBC. I don't want to be breaking news or anything. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I'm enjoying Taylor Sheridan TV shows, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, you'll be working on one in the near future.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I work I'm a Teamster in Chicago. That's all I know about. I don't really do.
Wait, Trek, you're a Call of Duty player, right?
Typically, yes. Historically, yes. I have not played Call of Duty 7.
Okay, he's doing Taylor Sheridan's doing a Call of Duty movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I did hear about
what
that.
I was
Taylor Sheridan's
to.
doing that.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's what I was referring
movie
to.
or TV show?
Movie.
Okay. All right.
That's what I was referring to. As the podcast continues to skyrocket your acting career as well. That's what I was referring to.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fair.
But
Yeah,
so
that's
Shane
fair.
O'Mac, in your list, I heard a couple potential Halloween costumes for next year. Chad Powers,
Oh, yeah.
BJ.
Yeah, BJ would be a good one.
Shane, if you came on
I can pull
the
off
episode,
BJ. I can pull off BJ. Yeah.
Oh God. I cannot wait. Please write that down and don't forget that one.
Like, subscribe.
Okay.
What else?
Like, subscribe,
Retweet.
and follow the Substack.
Follow. Yep.
Yeah.
Follow the Substack, thefantasyroadshow.substack.com. Get all of Shane's amazing, fantastic written articles every week. He does great work. Make sure you guys check it out. It's free to join. Just subscribe with your email. Other than that, good luck on your week 12 fantasy matchups. Hopefully you guys get some big wins here in the next couple of weeks that could propel you into the playoffs. And it's anyone's game from there. Anybody's game from there. So make sure you hit us up on Twitter or put some comments here on YouTube. Any engagement is appreciated. And we look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, buckle up.